boy Chris Stevens here with a special edition of On the Groove Line. I couldn't let the day go by, this Saturday go by, without honoring the late, great Frankie Beverly, who would have turned 79 years old today. Of course, he passed back in September of 2024. So this is a video that I did on my personal YouTube channel, the Chris Stevens Writes channel, that I'm bringing over here because I took my mother to see Frankie Beverly's last show in Philadelphia back in July of 2024. So I was talking about all the emotions leading up to that final concert. And I just went on a bit of a rant about just how important Frankie and Maze were to the Black experience. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to subscribe, tap the notification bell. Be sure to be so you can be notified of all the new content that drops on this channel. Don't forget to like and comment on these videos. And once again, Monday, I got a wonderful interview with you guys. I can't give away who it is just yet because the interview's done, but I just want to be a surprise for y'all. But yes, brand new episodes coming up every day this week. So be sure to keep on watching. Thank you for riding on the Groove Line. And until the next time we ride, may you find the groove, or may the groove find you. Of course, I'm talking about Mr. Frankie Beverly and Maze. Frankie, this is his farewell tour. Frankie is going to be, Lord willing, in the Creek Don't Rise. He'll be 78 in December. So after touring nonstop for 31 years, and probably more before that. I mean, it's just that Maze hasn't put out an album in 31 years, but he's calling it quits. And I think what makes that so important is that I think you're never going to see someone with the sort of loyal following that Frankie has, at least for at least a couple of generations. I mean, you could say that. I mean, there are artists. I mean, there are old school artists who still have loyal followings. I mean, the Whispers are on the same bill, and I just told you guys about how dope the Whispers were the other day. But you're not going to get the level of devotion that Frankie gets, because there's been no shortage of, people saying, oh, he doesn't sound the same, he doesn't move as well. And I don't think he doesn't hear that, and I think he knows that too. So that's probably why he's stepping away. But you can't discount that for 47 years. 47. Longer if you count the days that, he was performing in Philly and the group was named Raw Soul. But if you're just talking about when Maze featuring Frankie Beverly began in 1977, that's a long time, man. I mean, that's another artist and band that has spanned generations. It tracks with boomers. It tracks with Gen Xers. It tracks with millennials because our parents engraved that music into us. And Frankie gets to go out on his terms. I mean, I think that's what any performer, whether they be an athlete or an artist or a musician, they get to say they're done when they say they're done. And if this is the time for Frankie to say, okay, I've done all I can do, let me go say goodbye to some of my favorite cities, because he's already done Atlanta, he's done Atlantic City. There's going to be a New Orleans tribute. God, I wish I was at Essence Fest for that. Because that's probably where he's going to be. Like, as soon as the second Philly show ends, he's probably going to get on that plane to Essence Fest, where they're going to roll out the red carpet and give him his flowers, because that man closed Essence Fest for many a year and gave people memories for many a year. So the question is, how does a frontman of a band that has not put out an album since 1993, build up such a loyal following? It's quite simple, really, but let's start at the beginning. Of course, Frankie Beverly is not his given first name. His first given name is Howard. Yes, he adopted Frankie because he was a huge fan of Frankie Lyman and the Teenagers. And he performed around Philly for a long time. He had a group named Raw Soul in the early 70s, and then they moved out to California because, again, this was the 70s. People could just pick up and move and not really be, hamstrung by anything. And so they get out to California as Raw Soul, and a certain Motown legend by the name of Marvin Pentz Gay Jr. takes a liking to Frankie and his group, and he has them open for him on the I want to say it was either the Let's Get It On tour, or it may even been the I Want You tour, as brief as that was. So Marvin takes a liking to Frankie and his band, and he says, all right, you guys can get a record deal. Make no mistake about it. Only problem is y'all need a new name. Raw Soul just ain't going to cut it. So somehow they came up with Maze. and Maze featuring Frankie Beverly, because it's obvious, because Frankie Beverly is the man that's going to be singing every single song that Maze has ever recorded. So that's what happens. They signed with Capitol in 1977, and then there's the self-titled debut, Maze featuring Frankie Beverly. And there's so much about that album that just says this is a different type of black music. Like I told you guys about beach music, that sort of beach sound that Parliament Funkadelic kind of replicated on Jimmy's Got a Little Bit of B in Him. That was sort of like Beach Boys-esque. Maze and Frankie absolutely make black Beach Boys music. When you listen to a song like Happy Feelings, like that's one of the Cannon songs. Happy feelings in the air, touching people everywhere. Yeah, I mean, there's that. There's Lady of Magic is a personal favorite of mine. Like I always say, I'm looking for Lady of Magic, because if you just listen to that song and Frankie talks about how this woman has been he'll be her friend forevermore because she's always been there for him. She's got so much magic. And I think one of my favorite songs on there's another two favorites that I have. You, that is one of the best jam session songs ever recorded. If you've never listened to You from Maze featuring Frankie Beverly, set aside about 10 minutes just to listen to it. Well, actually, it's about 8 minutes long. Set aside 8 minutes to listen to it. Guarantee you run it back at least 2 or 3 times, minimum. And there's also While I'm Alone. Now, why that song hits is because it comes from a vulnerable place. I mean, again, this was the 70s. Men kind of expressed a little bit more vulnerability in the songs than they do now, at least in a healthier way. Then, now it's not so healthy. Back then, it was just a little bit healthier. Not much healthier, but healthier enough. But yeah, I mean, the song, I guess the weekend's over now and you'll have to make your way. You've held up all the dynamite right from the first day. Tell me it's not make-believe, this feeling that you've shown to pacify my heart while I'm alone. I don't like being alone. This was about a woman that absolutely rocked his socks off over the course of the weekend and said, okay, I'm going back to my regular life now. Have fun, toodaloo. And you're just like, this woman just absolutely made my eyes roll in the back of my head, made my toes curl, and all this other stuff that we're not going to get too far in depth into. But I don't want her to go. Why she got to go? I don't like being alone. I like being with you. I can't stand it. And that just was the start. I mean, the Golden Time of Day album, of course, there's the title track off of that. My mom, oh God, she said, we don't like to talk about death. I mean, I damn sure don't. I really don't. But my mom said, just wheel her when her time is up. She says she doesn't want a big funeral. She says she just wants to be wheeled out, to the Golden Time of Day. And it's been hard for me to listen to that song because my mom turned 70 in September. And we all get older. And it's just, that's just a part of life that just kind of like, I don't think anybody's ready for. Anybody who's lost a parent, my heart goes out to you because I still have my mother. My mom was my primary parent. My dad died when I was 18, but we didn't have much of a relationship. So that really didn't hit me that hard. So, it's just hard to think about. So when my mom starts, I'm like, yo, Mom, cut that shit out. I don't say it like that, but that's just what's in my mind. I'm like, Mom, cut that shit out. I ain't trying to hear that. But it's still a great song. Golden Time of Day is just a wonderful song. It's perfect. When you listen to it, it's like when it's sunset, when you're just like vibing, just chilling. And I guess that's how my mom wants to go out. But yeah, there's so much about Maze and Frankie. Southern Girl is another favorite. There's Woman is a Wonder. A lot of these artists from the 70s and earlier on into the 80s, they really made songs for women because they liked them. And, Southern Girl, that just fits. If you've ever met a girl from Charlotte, Atlanta, Miami, Nashville, Memphis, New Orleans, Birmingham, Dallas, Houston, Louisville, just Southern Girl, Country Girl energy hits different. Like, I'm going to tell you guys a really brief personal story. Never Fall for a Woman from Newberry, South Carolina. Yeah, you're probably wondering where the hell is Newberry, South Carolina? I don't even know. I just know that's where she was from, and I just know that 15 years later, yeah, watch out. You know, that damn Geechee boy, Geechee girls. Whew. Anyway, yes, Southern Girl, great, another great song. But the song that literally made Frankie Beverly and Maze just like, legends was on the Live from New Orleans album. It's neither live nor from New Orleans. It's a studio song. Same thing with Southern Girl. And Running Away is also on that album, and that's another favorite. But yeah, the song that I'm talking about, and everybody knows what it is, you hear it through the first few notes. Dun, 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 whoa, whoa. That's as far as I can go because I'm not Frankie. But before I let you go, is the most upbeat, up-tempo, happy, vibey breakup song to ever exist. I mean, there are breakup songs that are, up tempo. I mean, Teddy Pendergrass was jigging his ass off to I Don't Love You Anymore. Imagine being a woman and a man is like, I don't love you anymore. It's just that simple. No, 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 not like before. Such a shame, dirty shame. If I'm a woman, I'm like, why the fuck are you dancing, buddy? I digress. But before I let go is the actual title. But it it just has all the elements of a cookout classic. I mean, it is probably the definitive cookout classic, and it just goes like it just gives you so much. I mean, if you listen to the lyrics, I mean, it's sad. I mean, I really love you. You should know. I just want to make sure I'm right before I let go. I think the sun rises and shines on you. There's nothing I wouldn't do. But yeah, it's over. And Frankie, and through the 80s, they still kept going. I mean, you had We Are One, which is like one of the greatest songs that old folks love when they trying to, preach unity. Can't understand why we treat each other in this way. There's that. There's Back in Stride again. I mean, Back in Stride, that's another one of those beach songs. I mean, an up-tempo beach song. Gonna tell you something. I'm not gonna let it get me down. Ooh, 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 ooh. And the Silky Soul album, that is a tribute to Marvin because Silky Soul Singer, it was that the title track is just Silky Soul, but on the hook goes Silky Soul Singer. That's Frankie 5 years after Marvin was killed by his father, just showing Marvin love because there's no Frankie Beverly and Maze without Marvin Gaye. Those are the facts. Like you can look it up. Like that. I mean, that's something that has been widely proven to be 100% truth. Sure, if you stick it out long enough in California, just ask the Whispers. If you stick it out long enough in California, you'll get discovered. But when the greatest R&B artist of his time period, of his generation, the LeBron James of soul, is like, I like y'all. Come open for me. We're gonna hit this road. And it's like, all right, I know some folks at Capitol Records, but let's work on a name. And he does all of that for you, and you take off into the stratosphere because of that. You got to show him love. And Frankie just keeps singing over and over again near the end, my friend, like they were really tight. And you got to pay tribute. And there's also another great song on Silky Soul, which is another great one. Damn, I can't remember the title, and I'm gonna sing it all day long. I can't get over you. Oh my God, that's one of my favorites because I have that on my summer walking playlist, and I have irritated people over the last 4 summers. Well, actually 5 now. I haven't heard it yet on my walk. Maybe I'll get lucky and hear it one of these days. But there's that's another song about, a breakup gone bad. And it's mid-tempo, but it's more of Frankie, it makes me feel so bad. Messing up the love we had. One thing I know, I will always love you so. Love you so. Yeah, great. This is great. And then, of course, They went on a break because you got to remember they only had like what was it, 5 studio? No, it was 6 or 7 because let's see, um there's Maze featuring Frankie Beverly, Golden Time of Day, the 1979 album, which escapes me. I can't remember that, but I know Woman is a Wonder on there. So is This Feeling That I'm Feeling. And then of course there's Back in Stride was 85. 83 was We Are One. 89 was Silky Soul. So that's 6. So Back to Basics in 93 was their 7th studio album and their final studio album. That's right. Frankie Beverly and Maze have not recorded any new music since William Jefferson Clinton's first term. And when you think about it, when you think about how so many groups, even the older groups, like you can still find like random folks like, all right, they're doing smaller albums on smaller labels, but Frankie just said, nah, man, we're going to tour off these hits. And they've been able to do it since 1993, 94. So 30 years after your last album cycled out, people are still requesting to see you sing the same stuff that you've recorded years ago, generations ago. That's when you put on a show. And the hallmark of any Frankie Beverly show is you got to dress in white. And I've seen Frankie Beverly, I want to say 4 or 5 times. First time I saw him was in Detroit, of all places. Yes. Chris Stevens, what were you doing in Detroit, Michigan? I was covering Delaware State football. They played Florida A&M in the short-lived Detroit Ford Football Classic. So, getting on a plane, going to Detroit. It was only the second time in my life I ever flew. And sitting in Ford Field, which was still the biggest stadium I've ever been in my life. Biggest stadium I've ever been in my life. Probably won't be in anything that size again. Well, you never know. But yeah. And DSU beats Florida A&M, so I have to write that story, send it off to my publisher and all of that. And the plane didn't take off for a couple of hours. So as soon as they stopped presenting all the awards and the press conferences was over, I went right back up the elevator because in a building like Ford Field, you cannot walk down steps. Like at smaller stadiums, like smaller HBCU stadiums and high school stadiums, sure, you can walk down the steps from the press box to the field. Can't do that at Ford Field because you'll never get there. So I took the elevator down to the press room, and then I took the elevator back up to the press box to watch Frankie for the first time in my life. And nobody left. There were like 30,000 people at Ford Field. I mean, normally people after the game and the 5th quarter is over, when the bands are done, everybody's like, all right, let's go home. There's nothing left. But Frankie's there. So you went to see a football game, you got Frankie Beverly, and that was my first time seeing him in 2006. And it was like an experience. Like the whole band wore white. And he strutted out to the beginning of Laid Back Girl, and the crowd went bonkers. I was like, I get it now. I get it. And it was just like one of the most amazing experiences in my life. And then, of course, as Frankie started, coming to the Dell every year, I took my mom like 3 straight years. In fact, the last concert before I went to see Beyonce post-pandemic was taking my mom to see Maze and Frankie on her 65th birthday weekend, which was also Labor Day of 2019. So, yeah, we're going to see Frankie this one last time, and everybody's going to be wearing white. I think just about everybody, because I know somebody who may not be wearing white. Sorry, I can't do it. I can't do it. I love Frankie. I love the crowd. I love the vibe. I'm not wearing white. Can't do it. Won't do it. Sorry. I'm just going to be the only black-eyed pea in a bowl of rice. Sorry, but I'm still going to enjoy the show. I'm still going to enjoy the show. Make no mistake about it. And that's the beauty of seeing Frankie Beverly and Maze, because it's just like a big-ass black family reunion. And in the last few years, everyone has sung Frankie songs with him and for him. And everybody's like, well, why would you pay to sing a song for somebody? Because it's Frankie Beverly, bro. I mean, be serious be serious about yourself for a second. I mean, this is a dude who literally is as black famous as black famous gets. I mean, we talk about black famous all the time, but Frankie Beverly is black famous, super black famous. Like, you might find a few folks outside of our diaspora that know about Frankie, but they're not in huge number like the black people that know Frankie Beverly. I mean, and this is a dude who's saying, all right, I'm going to enjoy what's left of my golden years, and this is it. I've had a ball, but it's time for me to go sit down. He's not going to be, I mean, this is what happens when the legends get older. They stop doing stuff. I mean, they have a right to sit down and relax too. And that's going to be the thing that probably makes the most, going to be the most heartbreaking, because I mean, like I said, I don't think you'll have someone with the loyal following that Frankie Beverly and Maze have, at least for a couple of generations. I mean, granted, Beyonce has that now, quite frankly, because I didn't understand how people went crazy over Beyonce until I actually went and saw her perform. And that's how it is. I mean, but Beyonce is probably going to hang it up after this act 3, this 3-act installment is done. Because I mean, when you think about it, she's always saying, 16 Carriages, she sings about missing her kids. And I mean, Blue's getting older, the twins are getting older. She probably wants to be around for most of their stuff, all of their stuff. So it's like, all right, we ain't gonna see too much of Beyonce much longer. So I mean, that sort of devotion to an artist is just not something that it happens every day. I mean, yeah, there are people that will still go see their favorites, but people absolutely stop what they're doing for Frankie Beverly and Maze of a certain age. And you're not going to see that, at least for a couple of generations. You're just not. It's a once in a lifetime thing. It's a once in a generation experience. If you've ever seen Maze and Frankie, if you've ever seen Frankie and Maze in concert, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, you have missed out completely. And I feel sorry for you, because Frankie and Maze are just like one of those, it's just one of those culture things. It's just one of those diaspora things. It's just one of those black things that you have to experience for yourself. And if you've been fortunate enough to do so, you know why this is special. You know why we're mourning, but we're also celebrating, because this is a dude who did it his way with his band, and he didn't win Grammys, he didn't go diamond, he didn't have the music video success, he didn't have all the stuff that we put as benchmarks for artists. He just made music and went to tour and connected with fans. And that has probably enriched him more than any platinum plaque, any trophy, anything that you can think of that an artist is supposed to be measured by. And he's definitely enriched the lives of millions. And it's going to be sad to be coming around summer 2025 and saying, damn, Frankie's not on tour anymore. It's just going to be that day where you look up, because it's like, all right, okay, let's see. Guy, Keith Sweat, Ozzy Brothers, Whisperers, Otis Williams, Temptations. It's like, damn, where's Frankie? Oh shit, Frankie retired. Damn, that's right. That's going to be hard, man. That is going to be hard. But we will always have the memories. If you've seen him live, you know what I'm talking about. And it was a blessing. And even though I hate driving to Philadelphia, because Philly gets on my nerves, because I-95 sits up so high, my nerves just be shot, bro. Absolutely shot. And, being around thousands of people kind of makes me nervous, because I have different, social anxiety things. And I've been a sports reporter for 23 years. Like, I can write, stories and cover stories in front of thousands of people, but just trying to enjoy music is kind of hard. But I managed to make it through 60,000 people screaming for Beyonce. So what's one more trip to Philly to see Frankie? Especially since my mom wants to do it. And, this is her dude. This is one of her favorites. So it's like, got to make that happen. And I'm happy I was able to do it. And we're going to have a ball, as we always do.